Hello everyone, this is Pharaoh Vincent with Nation 506, and this is going to be one of a two-part video for Duel of Dominance. I want to talk a little bit about the event. There's a lot of alliances that are going to be having their first time with it. In this initial video, I just want to talk about initial setup, a quick thing on strategy, and then briefly talk about defense fleets. So let's start with the defense fleet. Now, I'm going to show you what troops I would use, but I'm actually not going to fully deploy my units yet. The only reason for that is I would like to get and make sure that I'm activating a fleet expansion and my attack boosts for this particular one. I'm probably going to burn the 25% that I have here. And just use the good ones. The reason being is your defense fleet is saved for the entire duration of the event. So you can set it first day and it's there as well. Your charge level, which is this thing up here, will actually last throughout the entire event on your defense only for Duel of Dominance. So it is wise to pump up your charge level on the first day if you're looking to go long within the tournament, or if you know you are. I can already tell, based on the fact that we're way down here, that we got another one of these really wonky groups where, Nation 333, 406, 274, right? We're getting these really old nations. And if you can see, these guys have already gotten some of the various trophies too. So I imagine we're going to be in for the fight of our life. Oh, look, a 457 alliance. That's great. That's special. It's going to be a really terrible day. So, anyways, Duel of Dominance. What do you need to know? The first thing is we set defense. Obviously, it kind of guides you to the defense troops. From here, we're going to set up our defense troops. And we need to know what troops we have high. So, I am on a T11 or an odd number tier, which means that my best defensive troop is this one right here, specifically for Home Guard. So in defensive battles, damage reduction triggered every 8 seconds damage taken is reduced by 50% for 4 seconds every 8 seconds. These actually are really good units. The troop battle power is pretty high too. I mean, given the fact that they're 11 for 1 is actually just a little bit better than the tank even. A little bit worse than the tank. But not by a lot, not by enough to matter, because the tank's active ability, bulletproof armor, isn't that great. So that's why I say for like defense specifically, these are some of the best troops. And the goal should always be about a third of your fleet. I'm going to go based off the 200k number, even though, again, we're not saving this. We're not going to, we might deploy it, but we're going to change this before the end of the day because my fully buffed fleet size is over 300,000. So I'm used to that number. But a third of 20,000 is approximately 60k troops. So we're going to look at literally 60,000. And then I'm going to max my cannons. And then I'm going to add... that's it, actually. Cool. Easy. Even number. So, why am I skipping mid-row? Why am I skipping all of these other troops in my back row? The main reason behind that is in this event, you can whittle an opponent down. What do I mean? When you attack, those 1 units will be good for the very first attack you receive. And good being subjective, right? I don't believe in single troops anymore. If you're going to do that, use 1,000. But even if you use 1,000 in this event, they're going to be ground down. It's not like the uranium mines. They don't refresh every single hit. So while you're on defense, the first guy that hits you is going to end up killing off all of those little units. The second guy that's going to hit you is going to hit you the way that you are right now. And it's best just to put all of your eggs in the, I am as strong as possible basket right off the bat. And that's why literally I'm going to use 2 troops. And so once you hit set out, you'll be able to deploy into a individual city. Don't worry too much about what city you pop into, because you're probably going to get moved by your R4s. And if you're an R4 and you don't know what I mean, well, guess what? You go into the set defense grid, and you will now see that there's this whole grid, and each of these means very little that you need to worry about. The green nodes are worth, I believe, 2 points. I believe these are worth like 4, 6, 8 or something like that. But basically the grids that are different colors are worth more points, and you can have a total of 60 members. So all in all, you cannot put people in every single grid. As an R4, you are able to move this around if you would like. So specifically, you can adjust the stronghold as an R4. I am not, so I do not have the capabilities of moving this, but you can literally move, a green square here. You can move this over here, and you can actually set up, all of your strongest players into one row and put all of your most valuable point-giving things into 1 or 2 rows and give greens on the weak side if you want. There's a bunch of strategies. The one that generally works the best is just to distribute your folks over the entire grid and make sure that, you have stronger individuals on the higher point-giving units, so that way it kind of whittles your opponent down as they come forward. It's more of a war of attrition than anything. We'll talk about spend in a second, because the war of attrition only lasts so long. The second thing to note is down here in the bottom corner, you see Tifa's donation station. You can donate resources for various rewards. Everyone should do this. I don't care if you're a spender. I don't care if you aren't a spender. Everyone can do this. There's nothing here that requires you to spend money, and you get free tickets. Those tickets can then be used to give you buffs. Those buffs can then be used to make you a little bit better. Not to mention the free rewards are actually kind of worth it. So, everyone in your alliance should do this. And when we get into one tactic that I will mention, there's another way to get more of these than is previously available. So we'll talk about that here in a second. So again, Tifa's donation station, you can do it once per event. And as you can tell, I've already done all of mine. So you can get all of the things you need, including, by the way, a 2-hour troop expansion for the first day. So it's right there. You don't even have to spend gold on it anymore. You can literally just spend all of these resources that you should have stockpiled by this point. I would be remiss if I talked about this video and didn't mention the buffs. So the tickets can be used for 2 things. 1, scouting, which, you can. And 2, these buffs. I'm going to boil these buffs down to really a couple of them. So first off, the purple buffs, specifically all-out defense, all-rounded army, back row killer, middle row killer, and all-rounded army attack are all useful. Useful. I want to use that word. The best one is poisonous gas attack for offense, and either your landmine or your damage reflection for these ones. I will say on defense, the purple buffs are nice because they last for every single fight. This one will only hit the first person that hits you. But generally speaking, for your big spenders, you're going to have them use purple buffs. For your just everyone else who's not spending in your alliance, have them landmine themselves, because that instantly kills 16% of the troops of the enemy. And that is oftentimes better than what that individual will do on their own if it's against a strong player. If it's against a weaker player, it's one thing. Special shout out though, because damage reflection can be amazing. Because basically reflecting 45% of their damage sometimes can get you more kills than that, but it's not 100%. Feint attack is absolutely worthless, because if your titans die on the feint, then you're going to miss them for the rest of the event. They die. So if you go into attack and you use feint and your Titans die, then they're just dead, and then the next hit you do will just be your troops. The main reason that this particular item can be useful is if you have a low spender or somebody who's not going for a lot of points. I would have them use feint attack to pop landmine buffs once, and then have somebody come in afterwards, kill the city, and then have that individual use the rest of their troops that didn't die in the initial feint on the next target. And so then that individual basically gets to pop 2 landmines for 1 ability, and they get 1200 dominance honor just for doing it. So it's kind of a win-win situation. And I'm going to briefly mention this too. If you know for a fact that a node is empty, you can use feint attack to get 1200 dominance honor for hitting an empty node. Because again, you cannot have somebody in every single slot. So those are like the big things about all of the free stuff. I know I'm breezing through a lot of these. I don't want to necessarily go through like word for word what each of these do. Make sure to read them on your own. But focus in on the purple buffs, on poisonous gas attack, which is really good for anyone who is attacking. And then, of course, landmines and reflect for defense if you are looking to win. Make sure to pick your rounds when you're using those buffs. If you have an easy group, like we don't have easy, so we're going to have to fight tooth and nail to try to get 4th place to get out of our group. You're going to find that that is kind of the best way to do it. It's going to be tough. Anyways, the last thing to mention, though, is this. And this is the ticket system. They give you badge chests for buying tickets. The only real way to get these is through buying them, and as well, at the end, your honor ranking itself can give you badge chests. So it is possible to get some badge chests if you can get in the top 100 to 200 without spending money. I might be able to do that. I will try. I don't plan on spending on this event because I don't like to, not because it's not good. You get obviously merit rank, you're getting individual reputation, you're getting these badges. These badges are good because it's the only way to get them. And you'll get a couple percentage points of increase. Not to mention, for buying tickets, you start to pick up all of these. And for the samurai skin, I would basically tell you this. I don't think that this event is worth spending from a power perspective. It is nice if you're going for the ghost sword, specifically samurai skin, or if you're going for the badges. But when you look at the actual packs, they kind of throw a lot of people off. So first off, the top 2 items, the $60 Ultra Shield, is actually really good, but it's not a very good spend for tickets. And the Electric Prism Field works on 1 person for $99. It is amazing if you want to use it, but unless you are rolling in dough, it's not that great long term. If you are going to spend, the best thing to spend on is the $10 pack. Why? So specifically the $10 pack, I shouldn't need to do the math on that. 50. So if I bought that 5 times, it'd be more. Yeah. So the $10 pack's 110, right? So if I bought 2 of the $10 packs, I have 220 tickets. This gives me 210 for 20. For whatever reason, Camel's math seems to have failed them on these, because the higher level packs no longer give you a better benefit. So there's no point in buying anything over the $10 packs, which means that we can start to know what these numbers are. So if we're looking to get, let's say the 200 ticket mark, we're going to need to buy $20 worth of tickets. And that'll give us 13 fragments, which means we are 1/10-ish. Technically less, but like 1/10-ish of the way towards getting our ghost every single time. And again, the higher we go, the better the added rewards are, but the more tickets it costs and the more money it's going to cost you, right? And yes, this goes up to 14,000 tickets, which would be what? Like, I don't know, $140 worth of spend. It's just, I don't know, not worth it to me. Um, so that is basically the first half of Duel of Dominance. Tomorrow I'm going to focus in specifically on attacks itself. I will show you my end fleet with the um, full fleet expansion, and I will show you kind of how that all breaks down. The reason why we're going to do it that way is because if I activate all of my buffs about 10 minutes or so before a reset tomorrow, then that means I can use them for both my first defense fleet and my first offense fleet and save myself some buffs. So that's why I'm doing it that way for this upcoming reset. So we will jump into that video tomorrow. So anyways, I appreciate all of your time on this one. Of course, feel free to comment down below, like, comment, and subscribe. And for anyone whose first time it is to play in the Duel of Dominance, I will say welcome to the Duel for Dollars. This event is a lot about spend and a lot less about power than you would think it is. So enjoy, have some fun, and don't worry about it. There's no permanent losses, so it's a lot of fun.